carol when we need that on 10-10 wins. Okay, hold on a second. Modern technology. Everyone stand, please. Hand on the heart.
Say that you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, that was beautiful. That's Italian pride. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We're going to start the program. We're going to cut everybody short. I want to be letting you know ahead of time, not to be disrespectful again. If I walk over to you, put my hand on your back, that means your time is up. We don't want that to happen. Okay. First of all, I'd like to introduce an introduction of all the sponsors of this breakfast. So, okay. The four organizations have been around for centuries. And together, we form a unity and a block of supporters. Not just fraternal, but monetary also. We will be continuing to make a difference for those elected officials that are not supporting us. But one of the organizations that I was proud to start with when I was 17 years old is the New York State Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. I'd like to introduce our state president, Pietro Ugo. 30 years in the making was a dream. Martin Luther was not the only one that had a dream. Dr. Joe Scelsa had that dream 30 some odd years ago. And through a lot of toil and challenges, we are here today because the museum is opened up. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce Dr. Joseph Scelsa from the Italian American Museum. Okay. All right. Very quickly, I do want to go back to the Det Joseph Petrosino Association in America. We started the same time the Padula Association started 20 some odd years ago. We joined with them then, we join with them now. We're proud to have our brothers and sisters in arms from the Petrosino Association in America. Let's hear it for them.
Hooray! All right.
Padula, I'm sorry, mi dispiace. Ho fatto lo sbaglio. You are American. Yes, we are America, they are Padula. So let's hear it for Ms. Father.
All right.
Just so you know how the origination of how this band came in today, or came in yesterday. It was through the work and leadership of Pasquale, but through our Vice President of International Affairs, Jerry D'Amato. Where is Jerry? I want to recognize, where is Jerry? Let's hear it for Jerry, because with the amount of work that went into this, we hope to bring them back next year. So thank you so much, Jerry. Jim Lisa is our president of the Italian American Action Committee. It's a 501c4. You'll be seeing the damage we'll be doing shortly in some of our elected office to remind them of not just the people in this room, but the color of our flag. And we bleed red, white, and blue. We bleed red, white, and green. So we're going to remember that. So thank you. So Jim Lisa, where are you, Jim? Back here. Okay. I do want to start with the program. And I want to acknowledge our guests from all the different organizations, our association, our partners from Padula, for making the trip to New York City this week with us. Thank you so very much. But I also want to thank Morton Steakhouse for hosting us today, because we found a home. I'm very appreciative to Karina and opening the doors here. We have so many dignitaries from so many different offices here. We're going to be mentioning some of them. But someone from a friend of mine for 32 years. If you don't think the synergy outside the Italian community makes a difference, I want you to know this gentleman's name, Dr. Bobby Kumar. Bobby Kumar is the chairman of the Human Rights Division in Nassau County, but he's the ambassador to the United Nations representing Grenada, international chairman and friends of good health. I will absolutely love to see us working together with his organizations. Where is Bobby? Come on, Dr. Kumar. Where is he? There you go. Thank you so very much, Dr. All right. I do want to bring up for the presentation of the awards our state president, Biagio Israel, to present the awards for Marianne Bortone Prince and Michael Polo. Let's hear it for Biagio.
All right.
He has frequent flyer miles in his car, so we got to lease him a car. Can we put that in the budget?
Helicopter, no car.
Okay, there you go. On that note,
Thank you very much. Well, it's an honor being here to represent the Grand Lodge of New York as the state president, and that I truly believe that we all as a collective group will continue to fight for Italian-American organizations. We collectively as Italian-American organizations work together, and you know what? We have to continue that fight, because if we don't continue that fight, we're going to lose it. We need to continue those traditions. We need to continue the positive image for our grandchildren, our children, and for our future people coming down the road. Unless we all work together, we'll never see that to fruition. So today, I have two honorees. The first honoree I'm going to call up is Marianne Bortone Prince. Marianne, can you come up, please? For those that don't know Marianne is the co-chair of the Garibaldi Museum, which is located in Staten Island. And that museum holds the artifacts and all the relics of Garibaldi and of Meucci. And they open that museum to the general public, and it's on display for us to see what our history is all about. And Marianne does a great job there hosting a lot of those events, and she's also one of the people that make sure that the museum runs 100%. Marianne, this award is presented to you today for all the work you do for the Order and for the Garibaldi Museum and for the Italian community. Please give her a hand.
Real quick, I'm going to try to do this very quickly. I am honored to be here this morning with all of you, and I thank you, President Biagio, for selecting me for this honor. My grandparents immigrated from the region of Puglia, province of Foggia, in 1922. My grandfather was a shoemaker, and he worked for a shoe shop on the Lower East Side. He saved his money, like a lot of Italians did back in the 1920s, and he raised enough money to bring the rest of the family back, which included my mom, and he opened up his own shoemaker shop in Yonkers, McLean Avenue and St. Barnabas Place. And when I was 10, I pleaded with my parents to please let me help Grandpa in the store. I want to shine shoes. So I did, and I helped my grandfather shine shoes with the shoe on the horn, shine the shoes. One day, an elderly man walked in, very poorly dressed, and he said to my grandfather, he was there to pick up his shoes, and he said to my grandfather, "Luigi, how much?" My grandfather said, "Nothing." The man looked at him and he said, "Nothing." The man left with a tear in his eye. I had a tear in my eye, and I said to my grandfather, "Grandpa, why did you do that?" He said, "Marianne, I make it a practice," in his broken English he said this, "I make it a practice that when I go to sleep at night, I look at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, and I ask myself, Luigi, did you do a good deed today?" And he said, I couldn't go to sleep until I thought about it and said, yes, I did a good deed. So, in memory of my grandfather, and in keeping with the situation that it's Columbus, our Columbus parade, I have a gift for each of the honorees. And the book is written by Harvard cultural anthropologist Carol Delaney. It is entitled Columbus and the Quest for Jerusalem. It is the best book about Jerusalem that I have ever read, and I'd like each of the honorees to have a copy. And of course, I have it in a bag so I can publicize the Garibaldi Mayush Museum, located on Staten Island, and no, it's not the place where God lost his shoes. So please come visit. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next honoree, as presented by the Grand Lodge of New York, is our national president, Michael Polo. Michael, please come up here. Michael is our national president. I am in charge of 59 local lodges in New York. Michael is in charge of 419 local lodges throughout the country. And Michael does a great job. Michael and I work very close together. Sometimes I give him a little bit of a hard time, and he comes back and says, I know who you are, don't worry about it. But anyways, Mike's doing a great job as national president. We appreciate all you do to maintain that positive image for us throughout the country, represent us not only in the United States, but also in Italy. For those who don't know, we have 3 new lodges that we have instituted in Italy, one in Palermo, one in Milan, and where's the other one? And one in Rome. So we're reaching out beyond our borders, beyond the country, and Mike, you're doing a great job, and I thank you very much for what you do, and I love you, Ron.
Buongiorno, everyone. So I first want to congratulate my fellow honorees. That's one heck of a board to be honored with. I know mostly all of them, and they're all giants in their own field. So I want to thank you all. We also have with us our national president of the Commission of Social Justice and our state president, Robert and John. Our Commission of Social Justice is the anti-defamation and positive imaging branch of our Orchestra of Italy. They're the ones that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for all of these local lodges and for all of our Columbus and all of our Italian heritage month. I want to also thank all the elected officials who are here. So my father, Paul Polo, past national president, and I have been here all weekend at all different Columbus celebrations. And I have to tell you, New York and Long Island are very, very strong in supporting the Italian heritage and the Columbus Day. We need that to go nationwide, so we were just in New Orleans, we go nationwide and make sure that we're supporting it as well. And I would pick this team over any team when you look at all the amount of power that's in this room. So again, I thank you. This is a great culmination of an absolutely wonderful weekend of what is the keynote of our Italian American heritage. And we will be at the White House this coming Wednesday with our First Lady, who happens to be Italian. This is our second year in a row. And we look forward to supporting anything that the New York Grand Lodge, the New York State, and all the local lodges do here, both in Connecticut and in New York and across the country. So thank you very much for your time.
Photos.
All right. So in closing, I thank our honorees for accepting the awards today. Again, they do a great job to represent you and represent myself and the Italian community. Just to touch real quick, Michael just mentioned something about New Orleans. And for those that don't know about New Orleans, I'm going to give you a real quick brief history. In 1891, April 14th, 11 Italians were lynched in New Orleans. And those 11 Italians were wrongly accused of shooting the police chief, Hennessy, in New Orleans. And they were sent to jail, and a mob of 5,000 people came into that jail, dragged these 11 Italians out, brought them into the public square, and lynched them. It was a cover-up. We had nothing to do with that killing. But in reparation for that lynching, it was an outrage. Benjamin Harrison, who was the president in 1892, declared Columbus Day a national holiday. I hope that whoever the next president that comes in, that we go through and we requisition that president to make Columbus Day a federal holiday. And if it's made a federal holiday, all games off. We don't have to worry about any more statues or anybody tearing anything down. Thank you.
We got homework. We have homework to do. So I do want to recognize others that have joined us before we move on to our program. From the governor's office, also from Staten Island. We kind of lost it in Staten Island because of Chicolata. The symmetry there. He's still out, right, Peggy? All right, good. Francesca Galletti is the Director of Italian Affairs. Let's hear for Francesca. Please stand, please stand. We have Tommy. We have, I'm going to say someone better, but I have to tell you something, I'm so proud. We have a woman in this position representing us. Not that Tommy was not good. Dear to my heart, thank you so very much, Francesca, for everything you do for all the different organizations here, and the governor as well. Okay, I do want to recognize also a past honoree and a close friend of all our communities, Senator Joseph Petrosino. Where are you, Senator? Always here. He's always making sure from the back of the room that we are represented, so when he gets in the front of the room, he makes sure we all take the bow with him. Thank you so much, Senator, for your help. Congressman Twazi is on his way again. We will be hearing from him shortly. I do want to also thank and recognize Anthony Loliano. Anthony is the head of it from the mayor's office. Please stand, Anthony. Second, I got to take a little privilege. Anthony is the head of Italian Affairs, Intergovernmental Relations for the mayor's office. We were honored last year at Petrosino Association at Gracie Mansion, one of the first Italian American groups. He is making sure the mayor understands our needs and that of the Italian community. We recently were at City Hall with that. I want to thank Anthony for putting that together. Okay. I also want to recognize and thank our men and women in law enforcement and the NYPD. And the NYPD. There we go. Where is he? There's Joe. Or you put him in you don't put baby in a corner. You want to go in the corner. By the way, I also want to recognize our firefighters also. We have firefighters that are working, our first responders. Let's hear it for them. Our veterans. Okay. Gives me great pleasure to bring up Peggy Petrosino for the presentation, with Jim Lisa for Lieutenant Petrosino Association in America. Yeah. She's working, yeah, wherever you want. That's how Joe resigned in this, Joe Petrosino is working in this marriage for 40 years. He said those words, whatever you want. And by the way, no, it's you? Okay, I'll tell you what, come on up here. All right. This one is a personal privilege of mine. Someone that we lost way too early. Sorry. The Vallone family has been a staple in city government, in state government, and around the world. And I mean that. Leadership does matter. It started with the grandfather, Charles. There's a legacy with Charlie, but I have the address where he's going to end up when he's 30-some odd years old. And it's going to be somewhere in Pennsylvania Avenue. I can guarantee that. But part of this is important to remember Paul Vallone. Paul Vallone was a man of all seasons. He was a father to all and a positive role model to so many. Paul was on retreat with us for 20 to 30 years. Paul also served in the city council. He served on the Petrosino board and many others. We're fortunate to have the Vallone legacy here with us, not just with Charles and Peter Sr., but Peter Jr. Where are you, Peter? Joseph Vallone, following in the father in his grandfather's footsteps. I want to recognize that. And also Perry Vallone, who I have to say, I'm not going to say there were 3 brothers and who was the favorite, so I'm just going to end on that note. But Paul was my favorite. I want to let you know right off the bat. I'm making enemies with the rest of you, but Paul was my favorite. But your dad was also my leader. So I do want to recognize Anna Maria. Anna Maria, and I'm going to ask Anna Maria and the Vallone family to come front and center. We want to present this plaque to Anna Maria and to the kids. Please join us up here for this presentation. Okay. Let me present this first. Actually, let me present this first. Hold it. Peggy, Jimmy, up in here, please. Go. Hold on a second. I need to stay present and acceptability up here. I need to mark it for the picture. I'm sorry. All right, so please follow him up. I'm sorry. Protocol. Reserve seats next year. Hold on, we can't take this picture. I'm sorry. AJ, please join us up here, AJ. And bring the girls. Bring the girls. There's an extended family here that you have to know reaches not only through city government, but state government, but around the country. AJ Constantinople, please come up here, girls. Okay. We're going to take a photo, and then we're going to have Anna Maria speak on behalf of the family with Paul, with Terry and Peter.
So you went from managing one set of animals to another.
And these animals are going to be.
I'm going to take that picture from Marisol. Okay. Thank you so very much.
If you have a hurricane barn,
Okay, Anna Maria, if I'm going to ask you to say a few words, and then I'd like you to pass it on to your brother-in-law. No, you first.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for this honor. Our story started when a boy from Prezi named Piero Fortunato Vallone met a girl from Riesi, Katina Marie Barighieri. Peter became the first speaker of the New York City Council and was elected to office over 25 years. If you know my father-in-law, and most of you do, he is a man of great faith. God, country, and family are the utmost importance to him, with country being part of his heritage. He is very proud of being Italian, and about 10 years ago, he took our entire family back to the town where it all started. As a result, now he has 8 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, and more to come very soon. My husband, Paul, passed away in the beginning of this year, and today I stand here very proud of his commitment and work for his heritage. We have 3 beautiful children, Katina, Leah, and Charlie.
Paul was a member of the Joseph Petrosino Lounge, a member of the Sons of Italy, and a member of the Borgetto Society. He was a recipient and Man of the Year for Italian Charities of America, and I remember standing there with Jim Lisa and Bob Fonte. It was a beautiful day. And he also reinitiated the Italian Heritage Celebration in City Hall. Like father, like son, they never missed a parade. You'd always see them hand in hand together. He fought to make sure that Christopher Columbus statue stayed up and was also deemed historic preservation as listed for Central Park monuments. Paul said, "I am a proud Italian American who's only here by the love and courage of my great-grandparents, who forged their path from Sicily, as many of us have made immeasurable contributions to New York City." Well, to us and many of you, Paul made immeasurable contributions. His legacy, his big smile, his even bigger heart, his love of God, and his love of being Italian American. His legacy will always live on through our stories, and we will never forget him and miss him every single day. Thank you so much, everyone, for honoring him and our family today. Thank you.
So very quickly, Paul wasn't just your favorite, he was everybody's favorite, including my parents. We're all very aware of this. Because he'd be here smiling today, like he was every day after he was here. He's so proud of us. And there's a reason my father didn't miss a parade, I didn't. Paul didn't. It's telling a little bit about today and the good work Bob and everybody in this room is doing. We all have stories. When we went back to Riese, like Anne-Marie was saying, we found out that our ancestors worked the mines of Riese 4 months a year, 4 months at a time, underground, never seeing the light of day, never being able to stand up, one of them dying every week. So we all came here as stories, all of us. And we all worked hard for nothing, and from that, we are all here today. So Paul and everyone else up there is looking down at us, and he's very proud of all of you. God bless.
Let's thank the Malone family again for their legacy and their commitment. Let's remember Paul, when you put up your Christmas tree, it's not a holiday tree, let me be clear on this. When you put up your Christmas tree, it was Paul's favorite holiday, was Christmas. So I want you to think of Paul. And when you hear that bell ringing, that's the angel that Paul had brought into your house. Thank you so very much to the Malone family.
I'm going to be very short, but I ask for a personal privilege because the Malones are very close to my heart too. When I was dean of the Italian American Institute at the City University of New York, I asked Peter Senior, to come and give a speech at the Graduate Center of the City University. It was the first time ever in the university that God and country were mentioned in the same breath. Never forgot that. We're so proud to have heard him say that and to talk about us in a positive light. He was a staunch supporter. He's always been a staunch fighter, and Paul followed in his footsteps to fight for us. And I really appreciate it. And we wouldn't be here today in this room if it wasn't for the legacy of Peter. Because Peter was the one who got us together first one. We used to do it at the Princeton Club. And we all would come together. And then Bob, and then Bob said to me and a few others, Jimmy, Peggy, and everybody else, we got to keep this going. And thanks to this man, it's still happening. So give Bob a round of applause. Thank you so very much.
Peggy. Okay. So we're here. Peggy's here. Okay. Okay, Jerry, come on up.
It is my privilege to introduce our next honoree, Lou Bernardi. Lou is the founder of the Italian American Heritage Society of Long Island and the founder of Valor Sports. If you don't know Lou, you will, because he's everywhere. Everybody knows Lou, and Lou knows everybody. So Lou, come on up. I can't go through his resume because we'd be here till the parade's over.
Thank you, guys. Good morning, everybody. Good to see so many familiar faces. I will be quick. Peggy, thank you very much for that warm introduction. It is absolutely an honor to be here today and to have my name in such a small way associated with Joseph Petrosino is an absolute honor. So thank you so much for putting that privilege on me. His legacy lives on, and now I have a small part of it with me. So thank you very much for that. Congratulations to all the honorees here today. Before I begin, I would like to just thank a few people who made it possible. There's so many people in this room that I call friends. But my father's here, and this is the first Columbus Day in his life that he's able to celebrate in person. So it's an absolute honor to have him here with me. Yeah, they deserve a round of applause. But it is amazing. First generation Italian who's here for the absolute first time. And like so many of you and before you, well, he had something called work for the last 40, 50 years. And he wasn't able to get here. So it is amazing. But to have two areas of concentration on why we're here celebrating is truly something very close to me. Italian American heritage and traditions and our history, but also our appreciation for first responders and law enforcement. And I know Bob did it already, but I'm going to ask if we could do it again. Just a round of applause for all of our first responders, all of our police officers, firefighters, EMS, teachers. Honestly, guys, without them, we're not here. We know that. We know that. Those who put that uniform on to keep us safe allows us to do what we love to do. And in closing, I just want to make a point here. To be recognized for the work we've done with Valor Sports and with the Italian American Heritage Society of Long Island, it is amazing. And to have the Lieutenant Detective Joseph Petrosino Association in-house, to have the New York State Order and Sons and Daughters of Italy of America in-house, to have the Italian American Action Coalition in-house, and to have the Italian American Museum in-house. It makes me proud to be an Italian American because, think about it, we have all these powerful organizations in one place working together. And one of the things that often gets forgotten, and it does get forgotten, okay, is Christopher Columbus's first voyage. He had a team of over 90 sailors to soldiers that helped him make that voyage. And he understood the value of teamwork. And that is a trait that Italian Americans often forget, is the ability for us to work together to help each other, especially when we need it most, to achieve a common goal. So my challenge is for all these extremely powerful organizations in the room is to use today as the example. Use today as a way that we progress for the next year on helping each other and achieving our common goal to preserve our history and to make sure that all Italian Americans are treated fairly and the same. Thank you all very much. From the bottom of my heart, it's been an absolute honor to be here today, and I look forward to walking the parade route with everybody. Thank you.
Mr. Lou Bernardi Sr. and Matt Tallerini, could you come up for a picture? We'd also like to thank Matt Tallerini, founder of the World Baseball Network. Matt has been very generous to us. He's a new friend of ours, but a very good friend. Thank you.
Okay, wow. Thank you so very much, Lou, and thank you very much to the family and our sponsors. It was very generous. Okay, we have to move along. We are going to be moving on to the Italian American Action Committee. Waiting for Congressman Swansea to get here. I apologize to Congressman Nadler. Thank you for your patience and your understanding. Gives me a great pleasure to introduce Jimmy Lisa for the presentation for Anthony Iliano and John Cavelli. Jimmy.
Hello everyone, it's wonderful to see such a turnout today for this Memorial Day of Columbus. You know, Columbus is the glue that's keeping the Italian community together and has forged them into a direction that no one ever expected to go. And this is a group, among others, that are moving forward to make sure Columbus is never forgotten and that we can perpetuate Columbus for our children. And as president of the Italian American Action Committee, it was my privilege to, for us, the committee, voted unanimously, to present two honorees. One, Anthony Iliano. Anthony, you want to come up? Anthony Iliano is actually, we used to be neighbors because we lived in Corona together. Not in the same place, but the same house. And every Sunday I see his mother at church at the Italian Mass. And Anthony is with the city of New York. He is a cherished supporter of the Italian community and our organizations. So I'd like to present this award to Anthony now from the Italian American Action Committee. Thank you. Well, sorry.
Thank you, Jim and Bob and Peggy and the Italian American Action Committee for really giving me this honor. It's when they called me and they told me about it, I said, can I try to defer it to next year, maybe? You know, I'm busy doing so many things, but it's hard to say no to Bob and Jimmy on this one. You know, I look back at my city service as a public servant, and I've been proud to do what I've done here for the city of New York. And I think being an Italian American kind of contributes to that. One thing I will tell you is dealing with public servants. If you deal with an Italian American public servant, it's very difficult for them to say no. They always try to assist, go out of their way. I learned that from my father, who passed away about a year and a half ago. He came here in 1958. I was already married to my mother, who came here first in 1956 when they got married in 1956. And he was only able to come 2 years after they were married to the United States. And I see the sacrifice that he did, not just for our family, for his friends, and for whatever job he did in life. He was a construction worker. And I remember many times in my younger days, I would come home 4 in the morning, and he'd be ready to go to work. And we like 2 shifts to pass through the night. But as I got older, I appreciated him so much more. And I love him for that. And my mother, you know, if it wasn't for COVID, she's 87, if it wasn't for COVID, she would still be working. She works for 32 BJ. She was in the General Motor building over there on 5th Avenue, right up the way here. And she would still go to work, take the trains, take the buses, never wanted to retire. She regrets retiring to this day. But I told her, Ma, you did the right thing. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. You did what you had to do. But public service. Lieutenant Detective Joseph Petrosino gave his life in public service. Died in public service. And in a time when Italian Americans were the only ones that went after other bad Italian Americans. You know, when you look at Joe Pistone, Dominic Pistone, Joe Pistone, Donnie Brasco, it's Italian Americans that had to infiltrate organizations that were giving Italian Americans a bad name. And we do that type of sacrifice every day. So for the members of uniformed services, not just NYPD, or you look at the FDNY, look at the Department of Sanitation, look at the Department of Transportation, look at the Department of Buildings. There are other city agencies where Italian Americans work in those institutions and they provide the services. And I am so proud of them. I'll leave you with this. Joe DiMaggio would often say, I want to thank the good Lord for making me a Yankee. And if you go to Yankee Stadium, as they're coming out of their dugout area, that quote hangs on the wall. And I kid around with my kids. I say, I want to thank the good Lord for making me Catholic, making me an American, and making me an Italian. And born in Cologne. Thank you for that.
Okay, Jimmy.
Before I introduce the next honoree, we have Assemblyman Weapon here. David has always been with us for years, and he's here to support us. Our next honoree is an individual who's been working in the Italian community and started at a very young age. And if you look at him now, he doesn't look that old. Maybe a little gray hair, but he still doesn't look that old. And all this dedication that he's done over the years has brought him to different positions. Right now, he's vice president of NIAP, and he's also the vice president of the Wildlife Conservation Society. And John Cavelli is a supporter of the Italian American community and the Petrosino Association and Sons of Italy and the museum. So it's an honor to bring him up to award him with this award from the Italian American Action Committee.
Buongiorno a tutti. Chi parla italiano qua? Volevo dire a lei una parola in italiano, no, per il giorno di Columbia, giusto? Happy Columbus Day to everybody. First of all, I want to follow my dear friend Michael Polo in thanking all of our honorees, congratulating all our honorees for the work that they do. But I have to say something. When you come to an event like this and everyone is Italian American, you actually want to celebrate the people that are not Italian because they're here with us. And I want to obviously mention Assemblyman Weprin and Congressman Nadler. Let's give them a big hand because we need allies throughout the community. And now there's this whole thing that Columbus may also be Jewish. So I'm looking forward to the Jewish community stepping with us because maybe he's Jewish, but he was definitely an Italian wannabe. So therefore, we know that for sure. I just want to add my same words that everyone else has said. My great-grandfather came here and passed away. My other great-grandfather came here and passed away. They worked in the mines. They worked in Alberta. You hear these stories of these immigrants and you realize we've done nothing with our lives. These are the real giants. And what we can do on Columbus Day is remember their sacrifice. But if you go back and you look, and I spent 12 wonderful years working in Washington, D.C. for a great Congressman, Elliot Engel. What I did is I went back and looked at the congressional record. And Columbus Day was supposed to be a day to celebrate immigrants, with the Italian Americans obviously taking the lead. But it's a day for all of us to step back and realize how blessed we are to live in this country, how blessed we are as immigrants to have the opportunities that we have. So you know what you do today? Go and hug somebody, hug an Italian, but hug someone else and say, thank God we're in America together and building a great country. Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent.
The man of all hour, the man of the hour, the man of all seasons, the man that put the pin drop on the map for the Italian American Museum, Cavaliere Dottore Joseph.
I don't know if somebody was told me the biggest pain in the ass in Albany. And that was basically because I was up there all the time asking for help. And I got it. You know, that's why we have the museum today. But it wasn't just in Albany, it was also in Washington. And I wanted to tell you that, as John Carvelli said, and we couldn't have done it alone. And we didn't do it alone. There was a lot of help from a lot of other people that made the Italian American Museum possible. Number one on that list of non-Italians, number one on that list of non-Italians is Jerry Bassler. Congressman, give him a round of applause. When we first opened up the museum in 2008, Congressman Malvin was kind enough to give us a grant at that point so that we could do some renovations in the early days of the museum. And we did, and we thanked him for it. But then I had this brainstorm of an idea that we were going to have a bigger building that was going to tell more of an interactive story, that was going to tell everything from Verrazano to today and everything in between. And I went back to him, I went back to his staff, great guy, he works for you, Scott Hunt, helped us out, you helped us out, got us a major grant. And that exhibit will open in the spring, thanks to Congressman Madler. And I want to say thank you publicly to you for the partnership. I will stand by your side anytime, any place, anywhere. You just call and I'll be there. Thank you. Please come to me.
Well, they're taking the picture here in the presentation. That doesn't mean that Joe Schultz is not going to be asking for money for the next 30 years. I want to be clear on this. I asked him that. I said, can I put the credit card away? He says, get a new one. Sorry.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to be here with you all today to celebrate Columbus Day and the contributions of Italian Americans to New York and to the United States. Today, we honor the contributions of the countless Italians who migrated to America in search of a better life, and in doing so helped shape New York as we know it today at the turn of the century. When the first Italians arrived in New York, many to Ellis Island, we were greeted first by the Statue of Liberty. But on land, many were met with destructive discrimination and stereotypes, just as many new immigrants are today. However, the Italian-American story is one of triumph, and they overcame countless obstacles to build community, successful businesses, and more. We can learn and draw from so much history as we reflect on those who found refuge and opportunity on our shores as we deal with similar challenges today. Let the experience of Italian Americans be a reminder that America is a nation of immigrants who make us stronger as a nation, and that we should welcome immigrants today and not despise them. The proud accomplishments and participation of Italian Americans continue to this day, as evidenced by my fellow honorees and by so many of you in this room today. Together you make our city's businesses, culture, and civic institutions stronger and more vibrant. In 2022, 2 years ago, I was proud to secure over $1.6 million in federal community project funding for the construction of the Italian American Experience Permanent Exhibition Project. With that exhibit, we are uplifting the stories of the extraordinary Italian American community and all their contributions from the earliest origins into the 21st century. My congratulations to Dr. Joseph Scelcia on the museum's recent opening, a tremendous achievement. I'd like to thank Lieutenant Detective Petrosino Association in America, the Italian American Museum, the Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, and the Italian American Action Committee for their dedication throughout the year and to making today's event possible. Thank you as well to the local community leaders and elected officials who are gathered here with us today. I thank you for honoring me on this day as we commemorate all the Italian Americans contribute to our city, state, and country.
Let's get a picture.
John, Marianne wants to give you a copy of the book.
Thank you so very much. While Dr. Schultz is moving to the next person, I do want to recognize an association, Loco d'Italia. Loco d'Italia is an organization known as UNPLI. They represent over 6,000 Italian-American organizations in Italy. I'm going to say that again. Representing over 6,000 Italian-American organizations in Italy, but over 1 million members. I do want to recognize Antonio Laspina. Antonio. Thank you.
Buongiorno, io purtroppo non parlo inglese, non so se qualcuno può tradurre, magari mi dà una mano. Io sono molto felice di essere qui, rappresentiamo l'organizzazione più grande e più importante d'Italia. 6.400 prologo, oltre 1,5 milioni di volontari che lavorano per fare feste in Italia principalmente. Organizziamo oltre 110.000 eventi, sagre, manifestazioni, attività come quelle che vedremo oggi sfilare, carnevali, gruppi storici, e lo facciamo per l'Italia, per tutti i nostri piccoli paesi. E con voi vogliamo anche costruire un rapporto sia per tante attività che possiamo fare, lavoriamo per la nostra lingua, per i dialetti italiani, facciamo un premio nazionale e vorremmo farlo anche qui con voi con tante opere che si possono magari far arrivare da noi e poi magari con una cerimonia premiale. Non mi voglio allungare, non so se riuscite a capirmi bene, ecco, però sono veramente felice di essere qui con voi. È veramente un onore poter presenziare in questo momento. Ringrazio Vincenzo Petrosino che mi ha dato l'opportunità di stare insieme in questa bellissima giornata con questo evento così importante.
Volevo consegnare il gagliardetto della nostra Prologo, a simbolo di tutte le Prologo d'Italia.
Thank you so much. Dr. Shelso, for the next part of your presentation.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the second congressman to you this afternoon. This afternoon, and I get on. It feels like it should be. Super, I understand. Congressman Suozzi is no stranger to the Italian community. He's been there for us also many times and continues to do so. He's going to make a special announcement, I know that, very soon, so I'm not going to steal his thunder. So, but he was with us on the opening of the museum on October 1st, when we had the ribbon cutting. He's been with us all along, and he continues to stand up for us in Congress, along with other congressmen and congresswomen, to make sure that they're well represented. So without further ado, I give you Congressman Thomas Suozzi.
Buongiorno, sono molto contento di essere qui per celebrare questa bella festa. I'm very happy to be here with all of you, and I want to congratulate all the other honorees. Give all the other honorees a round of applause. And everybody's done so many wonderful things, but I want to make special mention of the Bellone family. I've got a special place in my heart for the Bellones. Just wonderful people, a wonderful family, and Paul Bellone is really a person we all miss very much. And I attended his funeral, and I have to tell you, while I was at his funeral, I thought to myself, I need to be a better person to live up to that example of that man. And I know his family's here with him today, and Marie, kids, brothers. Let's give the Bellones a big thank you for their great service for such a long period of time.
And I'll be very, very brief, other than just to say that the announcement is that, I don't know if people know already, is that I have put in legislation in Washington, D.C. for us to create a national Italian-American museum. There's approval for a women's museum, there's approval for a Latino museum. There's a study going on right now as to whether or not there can be, there has to be a study, as to whether or not there can be an Asian American museum. And I'm going to put in legislation, bipartisan legislation, to put in for a national Italian American museum. I want to congratulate all the organizers today for doing such a fantastic job. This breakfast is growing and growing every year. It's really a credit to their hard work and effort to bring this together with so many people. I don't want to repeat my story, but many of you know it already. My father was born in Italy, came to the United States as a young boy, lived a great American success story. The first one in the neighborhood to go to college, fought in World War II, got the Distinguished Flying Cross as a navigator on a B-24, and came back home after the war, 35 missions, and went to Harvard Law School on the GI Bill. He couldn't get a job at a law firm after graduating from Harvard because nobody liked the Italians, because the Italians had teamed up with the Germans during World War II. Between that and the Mafia, you couldn't get to first base as an Italian-American. So he started a law firm with another Italian guy, and he ended up running for city court judge. And at 28 years old, he became the youngest judge in the history of New York State. This is a great country, but we've always faced discrimination for every new group that comes. And similar to what Congressman Nadler said, we've seen the discrimination of every group, including Italian Americans, throughout our history. That's why we as Italian Americans who have achieved such great success in this country and overcome the discrimination must fight against the discrimination of other groups that face it as well. Now, we all want people to follow the rules. We all want people to secure the border and fix the asylum system and make sure that we do things right, but we also want to treat people like human beings. And Italian Americans have a special obligation of all Americans who've achieved such great success in this country to make sure that we fight to make sure that people are treated with the divine spark of humanity that they have that's God given to them. We know that. We've achieved great success here. Let's fight for those people who are being discriminated against as well. Thank you very much. Give it up for us. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Before we wrap it up, I want to introduce the Bishop Private Pope delegation that's here today. They're supporters of the students of here. Thank you.
We're coming to the end of the program, but I do want to recognize, and we're going to wrap up with our elected officials. We're going to wrap up with the elected officials coming up to say a few words. But I do want to recognize also Giuseppe Calandrini. He's the president of the Association of National Police of the State of Italy, the section of Milano Abruzzo. So, just to say a few words.
Buongiorno a tutti, good morning. Allora, prima dico due parole in italiano, poi provo a dirlo anche in inglese. Innanzitutto saluto Bob Fonti, veramente con vero piacere. Ritorno qui dopo 10 anni. 10 anni fa siamo stati qui a New York e abbiamo avuto piacere di conoscere l'associazione Joseph Petrosino. Saluto veramente con grande piacere Nino Benito Petrosino, che veramente è un onore vederlo. Giusto un mese fa eravamo a Padula per il premio internazionale Gio Petrosino e nella casa museo. Lì ci siamo veramente sentiti a casa.
Un soffio di italianità nel giorno che si celebra il Columbus Day. Ecco che dalla casa dove è nato Joseph Petrosino io porto il saluto, il cuore, l'abbraccio a tutti voi, il ringraziamento a questa associazione americana, Bob Conti, che fa tanto per portare la legalità avanti nel nome di Joseph Petrosino. L'associazione internazionale Joseph Petrosino di Padova, che mi onora di essere il presidente onorario, a proprie spese girano l'Italia e anche l'estero per portare questo evento. Beh, a tutti l'apprezzamento, il ringraziamento per questo esempio che ha dato l'orgoglio all'italiano. Grazie.
Allora, Poppe, volevo giusto un attimo darvi un presente. Siete stati per l'occasione. E più una casacca. Questo è il primo maggio e poi potete conservare nelle nostre azioni. Ne hai bisogno di altre? You want again a match or please? If you want, I will. Facciamo una foto?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, very quickly, we're going to be closing out the program a little early. We're very happy. Dr. Joseph, of course.
You know, I'm taking again executive privilege, and I have also standing in the back very quietly, Senator Dabo. Senator, everybody, come on up, please. Well, you know,
Bring us home.
standing in the back is my honorary here. But Senator Joseph Petrosino has been also a strong supporter of the Italian American Museum. He doesn't brag about it, he doesn't say anything about it, but it was a $1 million grant to help us do the construction of the building. So I want to give you a personal thank you, and it's through all of your efforts, through all of your friends' efforts, that we made this happen. So let's just make a couple words to you first.
Thank you, Joe. Ciao. Good morning. Proud to be here. Proud to be Italian American. I want to thank Joe, the Italian American Museum, great job. I want to thank the association for this morning's breakfast. I want to thank the Petrosino family. Great way to kick off our day. I want to congratulate and thank all our honorees again for what they've done in their contributions, especially the Malone family, dear to the heart of the Adabo family. And yes, Peter Malone Sr. had a great breakfast as well, and the farm members. I also want to thank the NYPD. They were here earlier. They don't get thank you very often. I want to thank the NYPD and all our first responders. And last thing, you know, my grandparents came from Agrigento, Sicily. They came. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. I mean, it doesn't say magnet, doesn't it? Okay, good. Let's check it, relax. My grandparents came from Agrigento, Sicily, and Valle Polo Body. They fought very hard as Italians want to look proudly on or fondly on, but they fought very hard to be Italian Americans and raise their family the right way. I am proud to be Italian American and proud that we still call it Columbus Day. Happy Columbus Day, everybody in the Gulf Coast. Thank you so much.
I want to call one other elected official who is now an assemblyman, but he formerly was in the city council. Come on. He also was supported way on very early for the Italian American Museum. So I want to give you now Assemblyman Weber.
Buongiorno. Great to see everybody. You know, Joe had a vision, an idea
I served in the city council from 2002 through 2009, and I've been in the assembly now since 2010. So I've been in elected office for about 23 years. But Joe had the vision when I was in the city council, and it's now a reality. The Italian American Museum, he comes up to Albany regularly. He was constantly at City Hall when I was there. And I am not an Italian American, although I am an honorary Italian American, but I am a big supporter of keeping Columbus Day. When Mayor de Blasio was talking about changing the name, I was a strong opponent to that, and we're very proud that we're having Columbus Day today, and it's clearly Columbus Day, and it's a way for all Italian Americans to be proud of their heritage and would-be Italian Americans as well. Thank you. Happy Columbus Day.
First of all, I want to thank everyone. Before we're going to be doing this on the way out, so homework. We're here to celebrate not just one man, but our heritage. We're here to thank those leaders on the national, state, and the local side. We're fortunate to have all our friends from Albany. Oh my God, hold on a second. Scott, get over here, get over here. Oh, you're kidding me, hold on a second. I have to say, there are not many people that I look up to, not just in education, where my alma mater is, where Joe gave a good portion of his life to make a difference. And Joe Chiami is that person. Joe, just say a few words, please. You wear so many different hats, I couldn't go through all of them, so please pick one.
Good morning. I just came from New York, a beautiful homily by Archbishop Concha. I do want to say something. People have been calling me since last night about the fact that in the New York Post is an article about St. John's University. You know, as a former vice president, having served there 61 years, you know that St. John's is not anti-Columbus, whatever, but they changed the calendar 4 years ago, and they celebrate with a day off on Veterans Day. And Columbus Day was not a day off. However, because now this year the students are off all week, they're saying that the holiday was canceled. There's nobody on the campus today. So it wasn't a very good article. I requested the author of the article not to put it in, but it has not stopped, even with me talking to the department outside of the theater before it was set. So this is a great day. Let's not let anything get in the way. We are Italians. Columbus was a discoverer. We opened up a new world, and I wish to help people get off our backs. We have so much to be proud about. My grandparents, your grandparents came with nothing, and they sacrificed in this city, just like Mother Cabrini did. They brought the kids off the street, and we can carry ourselves proudly today in that parade. So keep up the great work. Every Italian organization, Orison de Vitaly and Joy is obviously a great organization, but so are all the many others. Let's stick together, because we got a fight ahead of us. And you better read the latest that just broke the news this morning about somebody anti-Europeans. You read the quote that she made today, but it's all over the press right now. So, Europeans made this country. They paved that street we're going to walk on today. They worked the railroads. They sweated and they died young and rising. Take care. God bless you. Let's celebrate.
That's the president. If you don't think a badge makes a difference, size doesn't matter. All right? This badge carries a lot of weight. And I want to thank the men and women in law enforcement because they wear this badge as a badge of honor, as we carry the vowel in our name as a badge of honor. So I want to make sure that when you're going out there today and marching up Fifth Avenue, it's not just celebrating our past, but our future. Because we are the custodians of that. We're fortunate to have all these organizations around us, here internationally, locally, in Washington, D.C., with our members of Congress, Tom Suozzi, and of course, our Congressman Nadler. But I want to recognize a good friend from Padula who brought this band, the marching band from Italy, the Pope's marching band, to say a few words.
Buongiorno a tutti, I want to start here. Allora, sì, parlo italiano anche perché io parlo poco inglese. Grazie a Bob, grazie a tutti voi che siamo qui oggi a incontro di lei a festeggiare gli italo-americani, una giornata molto importante. Quest'anno, grazie anche a Jerry D'Amato, quando è venuto in Italia, in The Last Summer, l'estate scorsa, abbiamo contattato il gruppo che vedete alle nostre spalle della bolla pontificia della città di Cala dei Tirreni. È un gruppo che porta avanti le tradizioni italiane, le tradizioni del folklore italiano, della storia italiana. E voglio ringraziare Alessandro e Antonio, il capogruppo, capopadre e capogruppo, che ci hanno dato il piacere di essere con noi in America quest'anno a rappresentarci. Non vado più avanti, non mi dilungo perché sapete quello che facciamo con il gruppo Petrosino Assn. Noi lavoriamo tantissimo sui giovani nelle scuole per la cultura della legalità. E oltre alla cultura della legalità siamo orgogliosi di essere italiani e soprattutto per gli emigranti dello Joseph Petrosino che sono espatriati e hanno dato lustro e onore alla nostra Italia. Viva l'Italia, viva l'America!
Scusate l'emozione, non da tutti i giorni stare avanti una platea così importante. Noi siamo i cavalieri con la pontificia, la Cava dei Tirreni a 1394. Siamo un'associazione che ha fatto del folklore anche tanta solidarietà. Infatti il nostro motto è folklore e solidarietà. In tutte le manifestazioni che andiamo girando in tutta Italia e all'estero ci adoperiamo anche nel sociale. Quindi voglio ringraziare Bob, Jerry e Pasquale Di Bella che ci hanno dato l'opportunità di stare qui stamattina a rappresentare l'Italia, gli italiani in America, credo gli italiani nel mondo. Per noi è un onore stare qui stamattina. Voglio salutare il nostro fondatore Giuseppe Petrosino, che purtroppo per motivi familiari non può essere qui, il nostro presidente Gennaro Pirri e dell'arcivescovo di Cala dei Tirreni, Monsignor Soricelli. Che dire, ieri siamo stati già lavorando, è stato piacevole, oggi cercheremo di mettere ancora più in alto il nome dell'Italia. Qui a New York metteremo tutto l'impegno che noi possiamo. Evviva i cavalieri della Bolla Pontificia, evviva l'Italia, evviva gli Stati Uniti d'America.
Keanu Reeves, join us up here. Keanu Reeves. Okay. So we're going to be going out taking a group picture. All the honorees, please sign the poster board. The poster board will be displayed at the dinner on Thursday. Another option off. Okay. We're going to be meeting at 11:15 on the corner of 45th here. The governor's going to be doing a gaggle and speaking and then joining us for a photo op. We're going to be marching on 5th Avenue with the governor, or Tom Schwartz is going to be marching with the band. Congressman Schwartz, what street are you on? You need marching on. So please join us. 11:15 outside. We're going to take a group picture outside. Everybody, we're taking a group picture outside. Okay, 26 if you want to